Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are checking out Reservoir Dogs, Quentin Tarantino's 1992 movie. I think it's an action-adventure movie, cannot be sure. Maybe it's a gangster movie, I'm not really sure. I don't know what this movie is about, and I really like Quentin Tarantino's movies. Before I get into actually what I think this movie might be about, I'm just going to say I have seen a whole bunch of Quentin Tarantino movies. I've seen Inglourious Basterds, I've seen Django Unchained, I've seen The Hateful Eight, I've seen both Kill Bill movies. I've seen a lot of his movies, my favorite one being Inglourious Basterds. That one is a lot of fun. I think the only two of his movies that I have not seen is Jackie Brown and Death Proof. Those are the only two that I don't think I've seen. So I might be watching those eventually, but I really love Quentin Tarantino's style of filmmaking. I love just how like gory everything is, but in like some like weird humorous way. I don't know. It's just like a very interesting, very different directing style and writing style. The writing is so good as well. His writing, his scene writing, as well as just character writing is really entertaining. So I'm very excited to jump into this movie, Reservoir Dogs. I've heard a lot about this movie, but for some reason I've never been interested in watching it. Even after watching all of Quentin Tarantino's other movies besides the two that I mentioned before, I was still like, do I really want to watch Reservoir Dogs? I know it's an amazing movie. So many people have said it's an amazing movie. It's by Quentin Tarantino. Like, I know I'll like it, but I'm not going to watch it. Like, for some reason, that's what my mindset was like. But today is the day that I get into this movie. And yeah, like I said, I hope that the dialogue is snappy, is witty, the scene structure is beautifully well done, just like all of his other movies. Oh, I also haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, his newest one. I haven't seen that one either. I just didn't see it for some reason. But yeah, I'm very excited to get into it. Reservoir Dogs is a very weird title. Do not really know what that entails. Are there dogs living in a reservoir? Are the dogs the people? Or do they live in a reservoir and the people are dogs? Not really sure what to think about that. Have not read the plot of this movie. And yeah, just very excited to get into it. I know that I'm pretty sure that this is Quentin Tarantino's first movie as well. I know he made a short called Reservoir Dogs for the Sundance Film Festival, and that was like a kind of like a proof of concept to get this film made. So I think this is his first movie, so I'm very excited to see what his movie is like now compared to the movies that I've seen that he's done later on in his career. Before we get into this movie though, let's do the lighting, and I think I know what the lighting is going to be today, but let me turn on the light. You guys can maybe guess, and then I'll tell you what I think the lighting should be. Boop. Nice. Okay, the lighting today, I think we can all agree that the lighting should be red, just because it is a Quentin Tarantino movie, and there's usually a lot of blood and gore in Quentin Tarantino movies, at least from all the ones that I've seen. There's been some, it's not like gory per se, but there is a lot of blood. It's kind of used humorously sometimes, but there's still a lot of blood, and the whole poster of this movie is blood red. It just looks like a giant blood splatter on the poster, to be honest with you. So I think red is a good choice. Also, before we get into this reaction, if you'd like to watch more of my videos, you can head over to my Patreon, where I have uncut reactions to many of the movies I've watched on YouTube, as well as 2 exclusive Patreon movies a month that you guys on Patreon get to choose. And there's also early access reactions to my movies and TV shows that come out 1 week early. Thank you so much if you check it out, and let's get back to the video. Okay, let's get into this movie. 1 hour 39 minutes long. Without further ado, Reservoir Dogs. The movie just starts, doesn't it? It's just like, boom, there.
Whoa. Time out, Green Bay. Tell that fucking bullshit to the tourists.
Toby, who the f...
Ah, it's Steve Buscemi! My hero.
That's what True Blue's about. No, granted, no argument about that.
And that's Quentin Tarantino, I'm pretty sure.
Sensitive girl who meets a nice guy, but like a virgin with a metaphor for big dicks.
Okay, let me tell you what like a virgin.
This is a very interesting, like, camera shot. It kind of is establishing characters during the conversation without us really knowing who the characters are, you know what I mean? Like, each of these, like, swooshing shots are more focused on one of the characters. It's a very interesting way to open your movie. It's really creative.
Like a virgin.
Wow.
That was... What?
Toby?
The guy on the right as well with the tie, I feel like I recognize. Well, no, I don't feel like. I know I recognize.
You guys been listening to K-Billy Super Sound?
This guy is very out of place. He's not wearing a suit. I wonder why he's not wearing a suit.
I'll take care of the check. You guys can get the tip. Should be about $1 a piece. And you,
Not bad. $1, one big buck.
All right, everybody cough up some green for the little lady.
He's not coughing up any green. Steve Buscemi, cough up some green.
For the birds. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're just doing their job.
Hey, this girl was nice.
Yeah, but they're getting paid like nothing. Most of their money comes off of tips.
I mean, when I order coffee, I want it filled 6 times.
6 times.
6 times? What the heck?
This is a hard job.
So is working at McDonald's, but you don't feel the need to tip them, do you?
Oh, that's so true. That's so true.
But tip these guys over here. That's bullshit.
This is actually a really cool conversation.
They ask on a regular basis. I mean, if you show me a piece of paper that says the government shouldn't do that, I'll sign it. All right, since you pay for the breakfast, I'll put in. But normally I would never do this.
I love Mr. Pink. I love Steve Buscemi. He's such a highlight in any movie he's in.
Trucking.
Woo! This is pretty iconic. I know that them in the suits is pretty iconic. I think my favorite part about Quentin Tarantino movies is that he just has fun with them. You know what I mean? It's very unique and very rare to see a director who just makes very good movies, but also the movies are just such a blast to watch and just so much fun, and you can tell that he himself just had so much fun making that movie. You know what I mean? Ah, they are the Reservoir Dogs. Hey. Oh, what the heck? What happened? What the heck?
Oh, excuse me, I didn't realize you had a degree in medicine.
He's like, yes, I do, a PhD.
And you're going to be okay. Yes.
He does not look okay. I'm going to be honest. He does not look okay. He looks like he's bleeding pretty badly out of his stomach area. I wonder what happened, though. Maybe like a deal gone south or something like that. Where is he bleeding from? That is what I kind of want to know.
Should be in time now. He's gonna help you out. He's gonna take care of you.
Put some pressure on the wound, buddy. You can help him out. I feel like this guy's gonna die. I don't know why. I'm really stressed out.
Strap me on the sidewalk. I'll take care of myself.
Take him to the hospital. He wants to go to the hospital. I know that they're criminals and they'd go to jail probably, but take him to the hospital.
It's the most painful area a guy can get shot in.
Shit.
But it takes a long time to die from it.
It does. That is true. I mean, I don't know if it takes days, but I'm pretty sure it does take a really long time. So the crew is like dying or dead.
Do you even doubt?
Set up for a job.
I don't think we got set up. I know we got set up. I mean, really, seriously, where did all those cops come from?
I wonder if this is the end of the movie. Sometimes Tarantino likes to change the order of the movie around.
Drive off, man, because whoever set us up knows about this place. They're gonna be cops.
Oh, I was just about to say, if someone has set them up, they would know about the warehouse and their safe house or whatever it's called.
Are you cool?
He does not sound that cool. He sounds very hot. This is a great shot, by the way. Frame within a frame. Beautiful.
Have a cigarette.
I quit.
All right.
Why, you got one?
Not much of a quit, is it? I quit. Why, you got one?
Enough of this Mr. White shit.
Hey, wait, man. Don't tell me your fucking name, man. I don't want to know it. Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay, good. Cool. That's interesting, actually. I was about to ask, Mr. White, Mr. Pink, Orange, are they using they're using code names. So maybe they don't actually know each other.
Get the fuck out of the way!
Haha, they used to Wilhelm scream. Do you hear that? That's awesome. He's gonna slide in. Oh. Did you see that one cop? He just did a diving roll. What the heck?
Did you kill anybody?
A few cops.
No real people?
No real people. What the heck?
No, what you're supposed to do is act like a fucking professional.
What if one of them is the mole.
You don't know what those sick assholes.
If one of them was the mole, it's him, the guy with the comb, Mr. White.
What do I think? I mean, the cops either caught him or killed him.
Why does he snap? Why does he snap before opening the lighter or turning on the lighter? I have suspicions that Mr. White is the rat.
Say that about anybody else because I don't definitely know. For all I know, you're the rat.
Oh, this is what I've been saying. This is what I've been saying. Mr. White might be the rat.
I'm right, okay? Somebody's a fucking rat.
Just gotta find out who it is. Gotta rat them out. Ba-boom. Bad joke.
Go down the hall. Make a lift up the stairs.
No, the dialogue in this movie so far has been absolutely outstanding. So there's been almost nothing but pure dialogue between characters, back and forth, especially Steve Buscemi and Mr. White, whoever plays Mr. White. Those two characters, that conversation was amazing.
Why?
So this is the past, I think. This is the past.
Hell of a woman. Good little thief.
Oh! Are we gonna go through all of our stories and then the audience has to piece together who the rat is?
Juicy, Junior. Real juicy.
You didn't tell me the cut. You didn't tell me the cut. You just said juicy. That could mean that you're literally giving us orange juice as payment. I don't know.
You ain't dead. What is it?
Fogging up the glasses from the breathing. That's really cool, actually. That was really cool.
You got an idea? Spit it out.
Joe could help. We could get in touch with Joe.
Bring Joe. Bring Joe. Bring Joe.
Huh? He's supposed to be here, but he ain't. He's just making me very nervous about being here.
The shot. The slow zoom while Steve Buscemi talks.
He's got dead cops, dead robbers, dead civilians.
So interesting how it's not going on. It's just showing his reaction.
I told him my first name and where I was from.
Oh, that's enough. That is enough.
Tell him I'm sorry. I can't give out that fucking information.
This is so good. The acting, the script, the shot. Chills. I have chills. It's so good.
Your buddy there is stuck in a situation you created. So if you want to throw bad looks away, throw him at a mirror.
Oh, who's there? Oh, it's Quentin Tarantino. Oh, maybe it's not Quentin Tarantino. I thought it was. It's not. Never mind. I retract my statement.
Did you see what happened to Blue? We didn't know what happened to you and Blue. That's what we were wondering about.
Oh, he's blonde. Blonde, white, pink, orange. Okay, got it.
We think we got a rat in the house.
I guarantee we got a rat in the house.
What makes you say that?
This guy is the cool one because he's leaning against a pole.
Piss on this fucking turd.
What a saying. What a saying.
You almost killed me! Asshole!
He does not care. He's just sipping his Coca-Cola, probably.
Buggy. Or are you gonna bite? What was that?
Steve Buscemi is me right now. Just, oh my god.
Man, what we need here is a little solidarity. Somebody's sticking a red hot poker up our asses. I want to know whose name's on that.
Yeah, true. If this guy went haywire on all the cops, I would trust him. I would not. I don't think a cop would kill a cop. You know what I mean?
What surprise? I'm sure you'll like it. Come on.
Why would you follow this guy outside when you think there's a rat? Like, couldn't he be just leading you to the cop?
You talked to nice guy Eddie? Why the fuck did you say that in the first place? Because you never asked me.
Yeah, you were yelling at him. You never asked.
Ain't a bad idea. Let's get him the fuck out of here.
Mr. Blonde. I love these title cards going into kind of what happened to them when they go in to meet, what's his name, Joe? I think that's his name.
Oh, tell him to come in. I gotta go.
Come on in.
Friend of mine's outside.
Vic Vega. That is his real name. Okay, I'm not going to remember that. I'm just going to remember it as Mr. Blonde. But good to know that Vic Vega is his name.
I don't believe it. How you doing, Toothpick?
Toothpick? Toothpick? He doesn't look very toothpicky. I would consider myself a toothpick.
Guy got me on the ground. He tried to fuck me.
You wish.
You.
I was literally going to say, are they trying to kiss or something?
Bitch, I'm gonna slap you like a bitch.
Come on,
All right,
man.
enough of this shit. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. The dad's like, stop flirting with each other. Does he have an elephant's foot as a stool? Is that an elephant's foot? as a stool.
Part of your job, Vic, is going different places. That's the beauty of it. We got places all over.
That's actually a really good idea. Dock worker scam. That's smart. I'm in.
I'd feel great about it.
Yes! Okay. Yeah, I love how the movie went from like before the thing to after the thing to way before the thing to the after the thing. It like switches back and forth. I really like that. It's so cool. Oh, this poor cop guy, just like a punching bag.
Okay, that's what I'll tell you.
Oh, so he's nice guy Eddie, hey? He's nice guy Eddie. Eddie. I said that so weirdly, what the heck? Eddie.
You think I did it? You think I fucking set you up?
I don't know.
Did you? Haha. I don't think it was nice guy Eddie. I think if there's anyone in this room, it's Mr. White.
He's pissed. I told you he'd be pissed.
No, he was gonna be super happy about what just happened.
You ain't dying. He is. All right, Mr. Fucking Compassion. I will call some.
That should be his name, Mr. Compassion.
Or the cops got him, or they don't.
4 options.
Cars outside. Looks like Sam's hot car lot out there. Okay.
Yeah, there must be a lot. There's like 3 cars outside now.
He's calling me a motherfucker, saying he's gonna blow me away.
What to say? Why did the door open? Was that just an accident?
Fucking hero. Thanks.
I love this movie. I don't like alarms either. My alarms in the morning, I wish I could just smack them to bits. That didn't really make any sense. I love the looks that they just gave each other. I was really hoping that they'd give each other looks. So good. Oh my god, these shots are so good though. They're like long takes in a way, but they're just very simply framed, but masterfully framed at the same time.
Only 8 months. They don't tell me anything.
This poor guy, I feel so bad for him.
Nobody tells me what to do. You understand?
But he was your boss. He did put you onto this job.
Get the fucking shit.
Don't know why I thought that was so funny. It's very relatable.
Regardless,
This guy kind of is a maniac.
you ain't gonna get.
Oh no! Oh! I hate torture scenes. When he pointed the gun out, it reminded me of RoboCop when they go like the like that sort of. When someone just points a gun at someone, pretending that they're gonna shoot them, it's like the grossest thing that they can do for some reason for me. It's just like really scary. Why is there upbeat music for this torture scene? I don't like it, but I'm grooving to it because it's a good song. Definitely adds to like the lunacy and the craziness of this character, you know what I mean? Ew, 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 ew. What's he drawing? Ew. What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? Ew! He just cut off a chunk of his skin? His eyebrow? He cut off his eyebrow?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, his ear? It's his ear? Ew! Am I gonna lie? I don't like this guy. I don't like Mr. Blonde. I want him to die. Oh, what's he got the gasoline for? Also, this is so much worse because you can hear kids playing in the background. Oh, it's really disturbing that you can hear the kids in the background. But also, this is a really good shot. The music cut in again, which makes so much sense. Oh, the ear. The ear is so gross.
Say anything.
He doesn't care. He's already established that he doesn't care. What the heck? Yes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh yes. Yes, Orange. Yes, Orange. He deserved that so bad. Oh my god. Good for you. I did not expect that though. What the heck? Oh, my heart is racing. Okay. Was Mr. Orange the rat? The ear is so gross, but looks really good. It just is so gross, you know?
Listen to me more than Nash. I'm a cop.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oranges!
Freddy Noonday.
I thought it was Mr. White. I'm so dumb. I said for a second that I thought it was Mr. Orange. Well, it wasn't really me thinking. I was just like, what if it's orange? And then I dismissed it. Because I thought White was being suspicious.
Freddy.
Oh, the dual focus?
Slashes my face and he cuts my fucking ear off.
Yeah, what are they waiting for?
Not to make a move till Joe Cabot shows up.
They're waiting for Joe! Oh, that makes so much sense. Okay. Mr. Orange. Okay, here we are. Here we go.
This ain't no joke. I'm in there, I'm up his ass.
I should have known Mr. Orange was the cop because he was questioning Mr. White. Like, what's your name? Where you from? Stuff like that, you know what I mean?
How was Long Beach Mike's referral?
Perfect.
This is so good.
He's backing it.
This is so good. Not like the whole movie as a whole is really good, but like the way that they reveal, the way that Quentin Tarantino chooses to reveal information to the audience is really interesting.
So you gotta know all the details about the men's room. You gotta know if they got paper towels or a blower to dry your hands.
See, I feel like this is where the story will stop because I feel like memory lacks detail. So when you know a lot of detail, you can kind of tell it's a lie because there's so much detail in it. You know what I mean?
Don't all work.
Then I got to be a pain in the ass. People call me on
I love this so much, just him talking of reciting this over and over and over again.
Motherfucker, I'm trying to watch The Lost Boys, you know? When I get some...
The Lost Boys! Just watch that. Good movie. Good movie.
Smoking the wood in their pipes for months. This chick had a bunch.
Oh, he's using the story in real life now. This is so awesome.
4 Los Angeles County Sheriff.
No way, and they're recreating this story now? Really?
Bam! Right in the face. I'm just standing there drenched in panic and all these sheriffs look.
This is so awesome. This shot and this monologue is so good.
You in the face if you don't put your hands on the fucking dash.
In the face! The weed smell. The smell of the weed is gonna waft into them.
Shit in your pants and dive in and swim.
Tell me more about Cabot.
I loved that recreation of the story. That was so cool. Especially the camera shot that was like spinning around Mr. Orange. So good. Oh, and now they're going to the coffee shop, right? He hasn't used that one yet. I feel like. We haven't seen him use it, which means it's still active. I also love how most of the music in this movie is music that the characters can hear too. It's really interesting.
I don't know shit. You're not gonna get hurt.
You're not gonna get hurt? Buddy, I'm so sorry, but I think I've seen the future and you get hurt.
Ooga shaka,
ooga, hooga, hooga, shaka, hooga, hooga. I love this song. I did not expect this song to be in this movie. What the heck? I can't stop this feeling. What the heck? This is so much fun now. And it's because they're listening to it.
E. Lois. E. and Lois. She called it later.
His eyes are so green. I didn't notice that before. Very green.
The black female cop shows you to say,
You're under arrest, sugar.
You're under arrest, sugar. I could be her.
That was Honey West.
Aunt Frances is white.
Shut up. All right, I'm trying. I don't know what he did. He just did things, all right? So anyway.
He brought her flowers. He said, I love you. He did things.
How would you feel if every time you had to take a piss, you had to do a fucking handstand?
That's
The way I pick, you're Mr. Pink. Be thankful you're not Mr. Yellow.
Mr. Yellow would be worse.
There's two ways you can go on this job. My way or
the highway. Oh, I knew he was going to say that. I could have written this movie. I am Quentin Tarantino.
I stand outside and guard the door. I don't let anybody go in or go out.
I'm so glad we're getting to see the heist. I wasn't sure if we were going to get to see the diamond heist or not.
Fucked with, no alarm should go off. We're out of there in 2 minutes now.
How does the alarm go off then? I wonder what happens. Does Mr. Orange hit the alarm?
Cut off one of his fingers. The little one.
One of his fingers? Things do not look like they're going too well, do they? Mr. Brown looks pretty dead to me. Well, he's not dead yet, but he looks like he's going to die. Oh my god. I mean, they just drove into that. Oh, imagine him being like, oh, I have to let my comrades die in order to keep this mission. Do the other cops know that he's a cop? Yes or no? I feel like yes, but then he still gets shot in the crossfire.
Get in the fucking car!
Oh, that's how we got shot. Oh my god, and he had to kill an innocent person. He had to kill an innocent person.
I'm gonna die, I know.
And this is where we are in the movie. We were all caught up for the most part. We don't actually know what happened in the diamond store. Maybe we'll get to that, maybe we won't.
Half his ear was gonna burn him alive.
This cop?
No! No!
He went crazy? Something like that? Worse or better?
I liked that guy. His name was Marvin or something.
That sick piece of shit was a stone cold psycho.
Mr. White is a sucker. Mr. White is a sucker.
Was gonna kill you, and then when we got back, he was gonna kill us.
He knows because he knows Mr. Blonde in real life. Because they were like gonna make out on the floor, remember?
You're telling me that this very good friend of mine, who did 4 years.
Oh, I love this. I got chills.
Why don't you tell me what really happened?
Oh.
But you're barking up the wrong tree. I know this man.
No, Joe's right. Joe's right.
I ignored it before, but no more.
That is not proof, good sir. I mean, he's right, and his instinct was correct. It's just not proof.
If you kill that man, you die next. Repeat, if you kill that man, you die next.
Repeat one more time. If you kill that man, you die next.
Don't make me do this.
Larry, stop pointing that fucking gun at my dad!
Oh my god! I knew they were all gonna get shot. I knew they were all gonna get shot. Oh my god. Everyone is gonna die except for Steve Buscemi. He's just hiding under there. Who shot? Did Steve Buscemi, did Mr. Pink shoot the nice guy Eddie, whatever his name is? He's gonna make off with the diamonds. No, but now the police are gonna be outside, right? They said the police were waiting for Joe. Oh, this is so wet and bloody and gross. I actually really like Mr. White, though. I really didn't want Mr. White to die. He's gonna kill him? Larry, Mr. White literally has a gun. Mr. White has a gun. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this.
Do it! Drop the fucking gun! I'm gonna fucking blow you away!
And everyone is dead besides Steve Buscemi. It is over? What the heck? Oh my gosh, what a movie. Everyone but Steve Buscemi died. What the heck? I didn't expect everyone to die. Guess I should have. Everything just goes haywire at the end of a Quentin Tarantino movie. And that was my reaction to Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs, the 1992 crime action movie starring a lot of people. That was a really, really, really good movie. I really enjoyed that, especially the dialogue. I loved listening to the dialogue. Whenever I watch a Quentin Tarantino movie, the dialogue is always something I look forward to because of how fast-paced it is, but also how realistic it is. And the dialogue did not let me down in this movie. It was phenomenal, and I'll get to that in a minute. But other parts of this movie that are phenomenal was the storytelling, the story structure, the shots, the acting. Everything in this movie was so good, and it was also so low budget. It was basically all took place either in a car or in the warehouse, and sometimes in like Joe's house or whatever that was as well. And it was just so good, and you could tell that they were making every single cent of that budget go to use, you know? It didn't feel like anything went to waste, and it was so good. Also, as everyone knows, if you've been watching my reviews, and I go on the cast on Google, it shows me the actual audience and critic reviews for this movie. And I've got to say, it is really good, and it is deserving of these good reviews. 92% Rotten Tomatoes, 4.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and 8.3 out of 10 IMDb. Deserves every single one of these praises, every single one of these 5 stars, good reviews, whatever you want to say. It was phenomenal. Also, another thing I want to say before I get into this movie is the name of the movie is a very strange name. I don't really know how it is connected to the movie per se. I understand that the characters are like very bickery and very, I don't know, very argumentative and very kind of, I don't know, they yell a lot at each other, which is something that they kind of resemble dogs in that way. They were very feral and aggressive towards each other. So I don't know what a reservoir has to do with it. When I think of reservoir, I think of like a big thing of water with like concrete around it, like a man-made reservoir. I don't know if there is another word that means reservoir, like if reservoir has a different meaning that maybe means something else. I think dogs is referring to the group of people and referring to just how argumentative they are with each other and just how much they yell at each other. But reservoir, I cannot put my finger on. So if anyone knows, please let me know, because I am very interested to know why he did name this movie Reservoir Dogs. Getting into the movie now, I'm going to start with the score first. And the score, I don't think there was actually a score for this movie. I could be wrong, but I didn't notice a score. All of the music in this movie, when there was music that the characters could hear in this movie, and that made this movie so immersive. It was whenever the characters weren't listening to music, whenever there wasn't music playing in the background, there was no score, no music. It was just all of the ambience around the characters and stuff like that, everything that was happening in the characters' world. And then when there was music, it was like music on the radio, music that the characters were actually interacting with, listening to, and that again made the whole world, made the whole movie way more immersive, because everything that I could hear was exactly the same as what those characters could hear, and it made me feel like I was sitting in the car with them listening to like that Guardians of the Galaxy 80s song, whatever it was called, no, it was the Ooga Shaka Ooga Ooga. It was that one. You know, it doesn't really matter what song it was, but you understand what I'm trying to say. It made me feel like I was sitting in the car with them listening to that song. It made me feel like I was in the shed with them when the guy was torturing that police officer and he turned on the music, which by the way was so awesome. When he turns on the music and then he does like that dance or whatever, and then he leaves to go get the gasoline, and when the door closes, the music stops because the guy wouldn't be able to hear the music when the doors closed. So I just thought that like the way that the music interacts with the scenes as well as the music interacts with the characters and is actually part of the world was so awesome, and I really loved that. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the writing. It was my favorite part of the movie. The writing carried this movie hard. Of course, the acting was amazing. The acting was superb, and the acting definitely carried this movie. But the writing for me is what made this movie kind of the classic that it is. The way, I'm pretty sure Quentin Tarantino writes his movies, and the way that he writes his movies is so interesting. And there's a lot of swearing in his movies, so if you're not a fan of swearing, I would not suggest a Quentin Tarantino movie, because there's a lot of swearing. I don't mind the swearing, but the way he has characters interact with each other, the way that his characters overlap with each other, kind of go agreeing with each other, kind of giving them free reign to elaborate on the lines and stuff like that. I don't even know if Quentin Tarantino movies are improv or not. Like, a lot of this dialogue felt improv, but I don't believe it was improv. I believe it was part of the script, and I think that's just the way Quentin Tarantino writes his movies. He writes them to make them feel like real conversations with real people, real grounded interesting conversations, and that's what I got from this movie. Every single time there was a conversation that lasted 10 minutes long, which was a lot in this movie. There were a few conversations or scenes that took place in one spot and were just one or two characters talking to each other, and those scenes were the most interesting to me because of the dynamics the characters had and the back and forth dialogue, the banter, the arguments, the shouting, the yelling, the forgiving. I don't know, it was just like, it was all written perfectly. And also with the writing, the actual plot and progression of this movie was really cool. I said kind of at the start of my reaction that I was wondering if when what's his face, Mr. Orange, was bleeding out, if this was the end of the movie, because Quentin Tarantino sometimes, I'm thinking of like Pulp Fiction or something, where he kind of has the movie take place in random spots, like the timeline is kind of all over the place, and the USA audience have to piece it together, like this is the last part of the movie, oh this is the first part of the movie, oh this is the middle of the movie, oh this is a little bit before that, the first part, but a little bit after the last part. You know what I mean? You have to like piece it together, and I think it's really interesting the way he does it, because he does it in a way that is not confusing for the audience. I can understand at what time this scene takes place without needing like a title card or anything like that, and I think that has to do with just where he places these scenes. And again, another thing, not again, I haven't even talked about this, but another thing that I just thought about actually was the way that he reveals the surprises and the twists in the movie was also really good. I really liked that the first half of the movie we were trying to figure out who could be the rat, and they set everyone up, and I thought it was Mr. White. The only reason I thought it was Mr. White was because when Steve Buscemi, at the very start of the movie, when they're in when their house and they're having that talk in the room when he leaves Mr. Orange, and they're having the talk in the room, Steve Buscemi pulls out a gun and like cocks the gun or something like that, and Mr. White, for a second, he looks scared. And I don't know if that was just me reading into it way too much, or if that was an emotion that I was supposed to see, but I thought or maybe it was like a red herring or something like that, but Mr. White looks scared, and when he looks scared, that one emotion, I was like, oh, Mr. White might be the cop because of that one emotion, and I was like, oh, that could be cool if he was. But it makes total sense why Mr. Orange was, just like looking back on it now, there was no way Mr. Orange was not going to be the cop with just like all the questions he asked. And there was something else that he did as well, just like, oh yeah, asking to get taken to the hospital, stuff like that was just setting up that he was a cop. Even though I thought it was Mr. White, I forgot about everything that Mr. Orange had done because I was so sure it was going to be Mr. White. And that just might be my ignorance, my like naivete with watching this movie, and just me wanting my theory to be correct. Or it might be because the writing makes us think it's Mr. White with some red herrings, really small red herrings, that kind of puts doubt in our mind that it is Mr. Orange, and then switches it up on us. It goes, oh, it actually is the obvious choice. It actually is Mr. Orange. So I don't know. That was really cool writing. I really loved, again, the progression of the scenes, how the scenes twist and turn, and the timeline is all over the place because it's really interesting to try and piece together as an audience member. And it's not done messily at all, which makes it even more fun because it's so clean, it's so well done. And we know what else was clean and so well done? The camera work. The camera work in this movie was amazing. There were so many takes, and you could tell that this movie was on a budget, because you can always tell when a movie's on a budget, because I was gonna say you can always tell movies on a budget because of like the really long takes, because long takes save time and they save money, and time equals money in the film industry, right? But I don't know, Quentin Tarantino might just really like his kind of longer takes. I know he does do longer takes in a lot of his movies, or just like static long takes, and I really like that about him, because when he does those static takes, he blocks the actual frame really well, where you can see what is supposed to be the subject of this frame, and you can see what that subject is supposed to be interacting with, but it is wide enough and it lasts for long enough that the actor or actors in the frame get enough time and have enough space in the frame to kind of improvise, if you will, like their actions, and it allows the actor to exert their whole body into acting, instead of if it was just like a close-up over the shoulder shot or something where it would just be their face acting and not like the rest of their body. So I don't know, it makes the actual frame way more interactive because you can see all of the actor's body or actor's body. And I don't know, I just really enjoy them. I thought the blocking again of the frames were great, just the long takes in general. Anytime the camera was moving and walking, especially when the guy was going out to get gasoline, that might have been my favorite shot in the entire movie. I just love like behind the back walking shots. I don't know, they're just like super menacing, but I find them super cool. I don't know why I find them super cool, I just do. But that was such an amazing shot. And then everything in the warehouse, all of those really long conversations that were just in like a very still frame, like for example again when Mr. White and Mr. Pink leave Mr. Orange to go talk in the side room, and there's just the shot of like the frame within a frame shot with the doorway, and they're talking in between the doorway. Like those shots were outstanding, and they're so simple. They are so simple. They are not elaborate. They are not fancy. He's not trying to overcomplicate the scene. He's letting the camera do what it needs to do, and that's capture what is being said. And the thing that's supposed to be stealing the show is not the camera work in Quentin Tarantino movies. It is the script writing. And sometimes the camera work is kind of the scene stealer, like in Inglourious Basterds, in the first scene when the camera pans underneath the floorboards. Like that is really good camera work, and for me the camera steals the show because of that amazing reveal, but also the dialogue in that scene is awesome. But I think in this movie, one, I think it was on a budget, and two, I don't think the camera is the point of this movie. I don't think having fancy shots and elaborate shots is what Quentin Tarantino even wants in this movie. He just wanted to tell his story with this amazing dialogue that he had written, and the best way to do that is with really well blocked shots with very simple camera positions. So good job on the camera work. I thought it was really, really well done. Getting into the cast now, there was a lot of cast. I don't know how much I'll talk about all of them, especially Mr. Blue and Mr. Brown, because they weren't in it too much, as well as Nice Guy Eddie and Joe. They were in it, but I don't really have a lot to say about them. Only like the main 4 or 3, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink, and Mr. White, the main 4, those are the only ones I really have stuff to say about. But I'll start in the order that Google gives me the cast members, and the first one up is Quentin Tarantino's Mr. Brown. That he was, I don't know anything about him. He spoke like 4 times, and it was all at the start of the movie. So I really don't have an opinion of his character. I just really like that Quentin Tarantino was in his own movie. I know he tries to be in his own movies a lot, and he always makes a cameo here or there. He always plays a very small role in his movies, but Quentin Tarantino is always he's just like a little Easter egg to find in his own movies, even though he always plays a character where you're like, oh, that's Quentin Tarantino. He's never like in the background. Like he's actually like, he'll have lines in his movies a lot of the times. But yeah, he was fun to see in the movie, but I don't have an opinion on his character, and I don't know, his acting was good, I guess, but he only had 4 lines, so I can't really comment on that either. Next up on the Google cast list is Michael Madsen as Mr. Blonde. I hated this man. Anyone who tortures someone, I immediately hate, and I hated this guy just especially because when he put the music on, it was like happy music, and he was dancing to it, and it was like manipulating me to dance to it because it was like fun music, and I liked that song, so I was like dancing to the song. But then in my mind I was like, this is really disturbing because he's going to torture this innocent guy basically. So I hated this man when he was pouring gasoline on the cop. I hated it. But when I hate a character, that is a good sign of amazing acting. If an actor can make me hate a character, and I know it's also due to the script writing and the screenplay and what is happening on screen, but if an actor can make me hate a guy so much that I want this character just to die already, that is an amazing acting job, and props to Michael Madsen for making one of the most unlikable characters I've ever seen even more unlikable. Okay, next up is Tim Roth as Mr. Orange. I really like Tim Roth. I can't remember where I've seen him in. I think it might have been The Incredible Hulk, actually, Marvel's The Incredible Hulk. I've definitely seen him in other movies, but that is the one that comes to mind. I think he was playing the villain in that movie. I cannot be sure. But yeah, he was amazing in this movie. His best role that I've seen from him by far, I believe. When he revealed himself to be the cop, I was like, oh, he is the cop. But then it was like, oh, it makes perfect sense. How did I not just think for a second that Mr. Orange was going to be the cop. It just didn't make like any sense to me why I didn't think about that. Well, I did think about it, but then I was like, why did I push that away? Why was I so persistent on Mr. White? But he was so awesome. When he was dying, I could really feel kind of his terror and his sadness when he was saying I'm sorry to Mr. White at the end. I could feel the guilt that he had because Mr. White believed in him for so long. Mr. White was trying to save his life. I felt so bad for him. And then I could just like, I loved his monologue when he was telling the fake story and he's actually in the bathroom with the 5 cops. I loved that monologue. I thought he was the standout performance of this movie besides Steve Buscemi. I think Steve Buscemi always steals the show, if I'm being honest. He's just like an amazing guy. I really like Steve Buscemi whenever I see him in a movie. But besides Steve Buscemi, Tim Roth, I think, stole the show whenever it was like him and someone else and Steve Buscemi was not in the picture. I thought he was excellent. And again, his monologue was amazing. Steve Buscemi as Mr. Pink. I love Steve Buscemi. He was so funny. He was a delight to have on the screen. His line delivery was super quick. He had a lot of words to say in such a little amount of time. I think he said the most out of everyone in this movie, even though he might not have had the most lines. He was so funny again, and his acting in this movie, I always forget that Steve Buscemi is a really good actor because when I was growing up, I'd only watch him in like Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2, so I always thought he was like a bad actor. I mean, I was gonna say a bad actor like Adam Sandler, but Adam Sandler is a good actor. I've seen Uncut Gems and he's a really good actor in that, but I've only seen Steve Buscemi really in roles that he's not very good in, or the movie is not very good. So seeing him in movies now where that he's actually really good, like I watched Reservoir Dogs obviously, and I watched that one with the bowling alley, the Big Lebowski. I watched that not on the channel, but I watched that before I started the channel, and I was very surprised that he was in it and actually like a really good actor. I was like, what the heck, Steve Buscemi's like actually a good actor. So yeah, it was really fun for me to watch him play a role really well, and I loved his like persistence on like which one's the rat. I trust this guy because he's a maniac and he killed a bunch of cops, so he has to be like a good person, or I mean like a bad person, right? He's not a cop. I loved Steve Buscemi in this movie. I thought he stole the show whenever he was in it. Harvey Keitel, I think so you say his last name, as Mr. White. I really liked him. I thought he was really kind. He was my favorite. Even though I didn't think he stole the show, I thought Tim Roth and Steve Buscemi gave a better performance. I liked, my favorite character was Mr. White. I thought at the start that he was the cop, which maybe made me like him a little bit more just because I thought he was the good guy in all of this. But then I really liked how he just cared about Mr. Orange and how much he wanted to see that he was okay. Like, he's just a good kid. He's just a kid. Stuff like that. Like, I really loved that. And at the end I thought was the most emotional part of this movie, when Mr. Orange reveals to him that he is the cop and Mr. White pulls the gun to the head and Mr. Orange is going, I'm sorry. And you can just see this like look of like anger and sadness and this like disappointment, but like all at once, and this in this like face of agony. And I thought Mr. White, I called him by his code name, Harvey Keitel, did that so amazingly well. I felt that pain that he was having in my heart, and he just did an amazing job. Okay, the other two characters, Chris Penn and Lawrence Tierney, I'll just talk about them both at the same time because they weren't in it too much. I enjoyed their appearances when they were in it, more so nice guy Eddie, Chris Penn's character, than Lawrence Tierney's character as Joe. I thought they were good. I didn't not care. I didn't care really when they weren't in the movie, and when they were in the movie I was like, okay, they're in the movie. I like them. But whenever they were not in the movie, I didn't want to see them come back into the movie because I wasn't in love with the characters, if you know what I mean. I'd rather have just seen Mr. Blonde, Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink, and Mr. White just talk for an hour and a half. I would have rather that than them overall, if you know what I mean. But when they were in the movie, they were fine. Again, I did not mind them when they were in the movie. I thought they were really fun, especially the standoff at the end. I thought that was a really good standoff. And yeah, I thought they did a good job too. Okay, thank you so much for watching my reaction to Reservoir Dogs. I almost forgot the name for a second. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to these beautiful, wonderful, amazing people right here for supporting my channel. It means a lot for you to be doing that. Also, thank you so much for listening to my review. If you made it this far, it means a lot for you to be listening to me talk. And I'll see you next time for my next movie reaction.